For me to call the Peace and War Terms, this is the book of Joel, chapter 2, by Gertha Siputar Kinu Unu NoopooH, Black Earth Moon Power, Noon Ethiopian 60, NoopooH Embryo Year 96, 12/21/2022, Repu Sun Hour, 11:36 a.m. to 12:26 p.m. Saturn Saturn, 21 degrees Aquarius, intestines, 0 degrees and 32 seconds, the first deacon. Listen to NoopooH Sound Right Reason. These quotes will be properly interpreted the same way we NoopooH did the Bible interpretations and explanation books written by our descendant Afro Unu under the name Amenubi Rakapata, 1967 to 1968 AD. Remember this well. This writer, Tal Gertha Sipu NoopooH, will only translate by way of our 9-mind help verses that are crucial to you all's equal standing as it pertains to your survival as you get closer to February 5th, 2025 AD. Let this be known. Blow the trumpet in Zion and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. Let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord is coming, for it is at hand. Explanation. Listen to Sipu's Sound Right Reasoning. Before we define the quote, let us look into the meaning of the word blow at the beginning of the sentence in order to clear up what those who follow the Bible need to expect, which is not literal trumpets sounding off from space. There is no sound in space. Remember this well. Blow in Hebrew, a verb, masculine plural, Strong's Hebrew number 8628, to blow, clap, strike, sound, thrust, give a blow, blast, to thrust, drive, of weapon, to give a blast, give a blow, to strike or clap hands, nifal, to be blown, blast, of horn, to strike or pledge oneself. Listen to Gertha's Planet Earth Sound Right Reasoning. This is the true definition of blow, because on the days leading up to February 5th, 2025 and beyond, our Earth shall start having many upheavals of destruction. The blow is describing the cataclysm of 2025 AD. Listen to Sound Right Reason. We started at 0.3 south or 0 degrees and moved counterclockwise degree by degree to 0.6 east or 180 degrees, then further upward to 0.9 north or 360 degrees. Now we go to 0.6 west or 540 degrees of the smack circle of order. During degree 540 or at its completion, the 0.6 west cataclysm arrives. Nonetheless, after the smack circle of order gets started, that is to say, after it begins with conception of the universe of absolute nature, this big order has 80 circle cycles to get before the cataclysm that begins disintegration of the universe's advent. The 0.3 south cataclysm is called the solids cataclysm because it destroys persons and things by using solid objects like parts of earth, stone, rocks, asteroids, comets, meteors. Volcanoes, earthquakes, fire, and brimstones, man-made objects, solid objects picked up by tornadoes and other storms, etc. Let it be remembered, always let it be known. Introduction to the Nature of Nature, Book 3, page 96 of the PDF. Listen to Gertha Earth Sound Right Reasoning. This is what blowing of the trumpets mean concerning the end of evolution, called the end of the moon cycle officially by Nooniboos and us orb scientists and wrongly called the end of the world by religionists. Let this be known. This same blow word is recorded in the book of Jupiter in the Quran, called Allah by the Muslims under the word blast. The word blast mentioned in the Quranic verses about blast. The topic blast mentioned 13 times in the Quran in 13 verses. Yet never came to them a sign of their Lord's signs, but they turned away from it. And when it is said to them, spend of what God has provided for you, those who disbelieve say to those who believe, shall we feed someone whom God could feed? If he so will, you must be deeply misguided. And they say, when will this promise be, if you are truthful? And they can expect is a single blast which will seize them while they feud. They will not be able to make a will, nor will they return to their families. The trumpet will be blown. Then behold, they will rush from the tombs to their Lord. They will say, woe to us who resurrected us from the resting place. This is what the most gracious has promised, and the messengers have spoken the truth. It will be but a single scream, and behold, they will be brought before us. On that day, no soul will be wronged in the least, and you will be recompensed only for what you used to do. Surah 36, 46 through 54. Before them, the people of Noah denied the truth, as did the Ad and the Pharaoh of the stakes, and Thamud and the people of Lot, and the dwellers of the woods. These were the confederates. None of them but denied the messengers, so my retribution was deserved. These can expect only a single scream from which there is no recovery. And they say, our Lord, hasten your writ upon us before the day of account. Surah 38, 12 through 16. And listen for the day when the caller calls from a nearby place, the day when they will hear the shout in all truth. That is the day of emergence, and it is we who control life and death, and to us is the destination. The day when the earth will crack for them at once. That is an easy gathering for us. We are fully aware of what they say, and you are not a dictator over them, so remind by the Quran whoever fears my warning. Surah 50, 41 through 45. It should be clear that we, the 9 Orbs Eniat Pisejet, spoke the truth and facts through Alpha Unu, and has reclarified that same effort through this writer, Tar Sipu Gertha Nupu, Black Moon Earth Power. Remember these warnings well for your own safety and well-being as you move through Armageddon toward the cataclysm, February 5th, 2025 AD, called the blast in these religious texts. A day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, like the morning clouds spread over the mountains. A people come great and strong, the like of whom has never been. Nor will there ever be any such after them, even for so many successive generations. Explanation. This will be when my Gertha Earth volcanoes called the rings of fire become active altogether to begin the cleansing of the old world moon cycle of the last 6,063 years, started from February 5th, 4038 BCE to February 5th, 2025 AD.
There is a deadly 40,000 kilometer long zone that passes through 15 countries. This area is dotted with volcanoes, giving it the name the Ring of Fire. And we've decided that right now, all 452 volcanoes are going to erupt at the same time. Talk about an explosive event. What would be the most dangerous part? Could it change the climate? And would there be any warning before it happened? This is What If, and here's what would happen if the Ring of Fire suddenly erupted. The Ring of Fire is a horseshoe-shaped area that stretches around the edge of the Pacific Ocean. Its volcanoes formed when continental plates slid on top of oceanic plates, forcing the oceanic plates into the mantle below. This tectonic movement is called subduction, and it doesn't just create volcanoes, it also causes massive earthquakes. Around 90% of the Earth's earthquakes happen along the Ring of Fire. So, if all these volcanoes erupted at once, we wouldn't just be talking about lava flowing. We'd be witnessing massive earthquakes, toxic gas, and tsunamis. But why would the Ring of Fire erupt? You can thank tectonic plates for causing volcanic eruptions and devastating earthquakes. These plates create the Earth's crust and mantle, and they're constantly moving. As they move, they collide and rub against each other, eventually breaking and releasing seismic waves. And when one tectonic plate gets pushed below another, it creates molten rock called magma. Magma is lighter than rock, so it rises to the surface, trapping gas on its way. When magma is thick, these gas bubbles can't escape easily, so pressure builds. When the pressure builds enough, it causes an explosive volcanic eruption. And the volcanoes in the Ring of Fire are deadly. In 1814, Mount Mayon erupted and killed more than 1,200 people in the Philippines. And when Mount Kadovar erupted in 2018, the entire population of Papua New Guinea evacuated. For all 452 volcanoes to erupt at once, we'd need a pretty large tectonic event, like the forming of a new supercontinent. Ever since Pangaea broke up, the Atlantic has been widening and forcing the Pacific Ocean to narrow. Eventually, some of these continental pieces could collide, creating a seismic catastrophe.
Verse 3, a fire devours before them, and behind them a flame burns. The land is the Garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Surely nothing shall escape them. Explanation. Remember, the word like means similar. When the Ring of Fire volcano goes off, they will devour, burn everything in their way in front and behind as the lava spreads. Here, the moon god Tahuti Thoth is explaining how the landscape will look like the Garden of Eden, which today is a desert. Eden used to be called Aden and is seen today on modern maps near the Gulf of Aden. This is where the Adam and Eve group lived 6,060 years ago before they were evicted to the Aegean Islands. Though some scholars maintain that the Garden of Eden was in Aden, the country today seems more like purgatory than paradise, a British protectorate since 1839. Aden is a sun-scorched moonscape of thrusting volcanic mountains and rock-strewn wadis. Aden, it's no Eden video index on time.com. Alright, here's a map of the Gulf of Aden. All you got to do is pick it up. This is right above the Horn of Africa. This is where the Adam and Eve group were at the time. In ancient times, the A and the E were exchangeable. So when you talk about the Garden of Eden, you're talking about the place called Aden, and this is the Gulf of Aden. This is where the Hindu group, Adam and Eve, were priests and nuns, were living at the time. All right? Again, this is called Yemen today. See Saudi Arabia up here. Yemen is a part of Saudi. And you can see down here again, I just got a different map. The Arabian Sea, Aden. And remember, Arabia is a part of Africa. If you look at the tectonic plates, it's not a whole nother country. This is belong to Africa. Here's an old video this writer and another kin did on the Adam and Eve group and the Garden of Aden or Eden where they live. All right, you can go back in my YouTube and look at this historical proof of priests and nuns. Here's the gematria. Eden comes out to 19. Yemen.
It's 9 o'clock.
Comes out to 19. Their appearance is like the appearance of horses and like swift steeds. So they run with a noise like chariots over mountains they leap. like the noise of a flaming fire that devours the stubble like a strong people set in battle array. Explanation. This is about the ring of fire volcanoes moving like a bunch of horses running as the lava pours out fast. Alright, animation of the rings of fire if they were actually active at once. So they're going to go off all at the same time. As a matter of fact, volcanoes move faster than horses. How fast can a volcano move? Pyroclastic density currents are hot, fast-moving clouds of gas, ash, and rock debris known as tephra. They can reach temperatures up to 1,000 degrees Celsius and speeds of 700 kilometers per hour and are much more denser than the surrounding air. At a gallop, a horse can run at an average speed of 55 kilometers per hour. The fastest recorded gallop is 89 kilometers per hour. Running at such speeds requires a lot of energy, and as such, a horse can only maintain these speeds for a short period of time and will vary greatly based on the fitness levels of the horse. How far and for how long can a horse run? Excuse me. At the horse's lowest speed is 55 kilometers. 55 goes into the speed of lava. 700 is 12 times. So lava is 12 times faster than a horse lowest speed. A horse's fastest speed is 89 kilometers. 89 divides into 700 7 times. So lava is 7 times faster than a horse at top speed. So imagine all of these volcanoes going off and spilling out when February 5th, 2025 AD arrives. Let's continue the verse. Their appearance is like the appearance of horses, and like swift steeds, so they run with a noise like chariots over mountains they leap. Explanation. The running of horses makes the sound of volcanoes erupting. Secondly, volcanoes are classified as mountains. Volcanoes are mountains, but they are very different from other mountains. They are not formed by folding and crumpling or by uplifting erosion. Instead, volcanoes are built up by the accumulation of their own eruptive products. Lava bombs, crusted over ash flows, and tephra, airborne ash and dust. The nature of volcanoes, USGS.gov. Before them, the people writhe in pain. All faces are drained of color. They run like mighty men. They climb the wall like men of war. Everyone marches in formation, and they do not break ranks. They do not push one another. Everyone marches in his own column. Though they lunge between the weapons, they are not cut down. They run to and fro in the city. They run on the wall. They climb into the houses. They enter at the windows like a thief of the night. So this is describing the lava, not people. Tahuti Thoth is explaining how the lava will move and cause pain, destruction, and columns when the lava cools. All right, see the word column right here? Search for how do lava columns form. Why do column joints form in lava flows? Columnar jointing forms after lava flow or other ingenious bodies has solidified. But while it's still at high to medium temperature, it is thought that columnar jointing forms during rapid cooling and that the development of the fracture system allows fluid to circulate, which can further hasten the rate of cooling. Columnar jointing volcanoes, craters, and lava flows, U.S. National. These are some of the columns after a volcanic eruption. All right, this is just a far off picture because they look like this right here, but I'm gonna show you in real some up-to-date color pictures. Here's another form of columns that flow. This is what they turn into columns out there. It cools. The earthquakes before them, the heavens tremble, the sun and moon grow dark, and the stars diminish their brightness. Explanation. Volcanoes do cause earthquakes, and smoke from all the volcanoes on that day will darken the sky. NASA shares aftermath images of Tonga's volcanic eruption as glimpsed from space. See pics. This was January 2022. Ash from Saturday's underwater volcanic eruption in the remote Pacific nation of Tonga made its way thousands of feet into the atmosphere and was visible from at space station. During a pass over New Zealand on Sunday, Caleb Barron opened the windows and saw the effects of the eruption. Alright, this is a picture of planet Earth. And you can see the little red spot. That's where the volcano was going off. A little bit after that, you see the greyness start spreading a whole lot in the atmosphere. And here's it when it gets a little thicker. It's gray, thousands of feet into the air. The Lord gives voice before his army, for his camp is very great, for strong is the one who executes his word, for the day of the Lord is great and very terrible. Who can endure it? Explanation. The day of the Lord is February 5th, 2025 AD. We skip the verses 30 to 32. And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the coming of the great and awesome day of the Lord. And it shall come to pass. Once again, the volcanoes from the ring of fire are being spoken of here. True many cause of peace in war times.